Hello, I'm Corey from Eraser Dread. I did the Faded with a Stranger music video a couple years ago, and most recently I just did the Smoking Gun music video for the new Inpatient album featuring Ren and Webby. Webby reached out to me and he thought my style would be a good match for the track, and I was beyond excited because I'm a huge fan of Ren, so this was like a dream project for me. So I recorded some behind the scenes throughout the process that I thought I could maybe share with you guys and give you a look at what goes on over here at Eraser Dread. Let's get to it.
Alright, so today we're going to do the Webby and Ren models. I'm going to start with Webby. We're going to use some Sculpey and redo a new and improved Webby to start with. And then we'll get to Ren.
So I start by creating an aluminum foil base, and then from there I start sculpting over it with clay.
Webby 2.0.
So once our sculptures are made, we need to bake them for 10 minutes, and that gives them a hard surface that's ready to paint on. Cooking these guys up. This is Webby 2.0. So that's our Ren. I'm pretty happy with the way he came out.
Okay, so our models are now all painted and ready to be scanned. So we basically just place them here, stand them up, and then we take photos of them in a 360 position, and then that creates a 3D model for us through something called photogrammetry. And then I have a 3D model of these guys, and that's how I kind of work with clay and 3D animation combined.
So once we have our 3D models, we bring them into Blender, and now's the time where we clean up all the messy paint that got around, get rid of all those like paint smudges and make it look a lot cleaner. Then I add digital eyeballs and digital teeth, and I also do sculpting so I can make the characters blink, as well as all the mouth movements so we could do actual lip sync when it comes to them speaking or singing. So once everything's clean and ready to go, the last step is just adding a rig. So the rig will allow me to move the arms, the legs, the head, and that's basically how my characters are made. Okay, so I figured the best way to kind of go through the behind the scenes and also refresh my memory because it's been a while. I'm just gonna do like a reaction style video, but also give you some behind the scenes. Okay, so let's get that popped up here.
Recognize me as Al Pacino. When you get hungry,
right from the stereo,
one creature, monkeys.
Okay, so that intro, Webby had told me that he needed like a pre-intro to the video. So we just decided to do some improv, off the cuff, no plan.
When you're hungry, try Al Pacino. Let me tell you, it ain't easy being Pacino.
The champion come easy, the tonto come easy. Damage is done, I'm the one, the smoking gun, it come easy. Stuck in my ways, come easy. Contaminate the scene, damage is done. I'm the one, the smoking gun. The long arm of the Lord, they bust my...
Okay, so that whole intro was done by Jeremy. We work together over at Drop Frame Digital, where we do a bunch of live action stuff, like that crazy countdown.
Ren sits down, has a bowl of peanuts.
So if you're interested in seeing that process of things, you could go ahead and follow us at Drop Frame Digital on Instagram. Would be much appreciated. So for this project, Jeremy was in charge of all the 2D stuff and all the compositing and effects that you see throughout. He comped Ren actually dancing. We were trying to do like kind of like a lyric video 2D that would bleed into my animation. We made the spider pig. That's our first view of the spider pig, and he pops up throughout the video. We have an Inpatient center there, as you can see, a little nod to the album. And we mix my guys in throughout just to give you a feel, and then we cut into my animation, zooming in.
The long arm of the Lord, they bust my front door. So I flushed £2, then I flushed 2 more. But I fucked up cause I left £1 in the drawer. Now I'm face down, getting fucked by the law.
Okay, so this whole set is basically the way I saw it, Ren and Webby's apartment. I made their rooms how I viewed them. Ren is kind of Shakespearean, so I got like a little Shakespeare guy. We have the slaughter pig. Threw in the wheelchair. If you notice on the amp there, there's a little Monopoly guy, which I love. And I added a little little burning sunflower from Vincent's Tale, which I thought was funny. And so all my assets and everything that I find are usually from Blender Kit. You get access to all these really cool models. That's kind of how I set up my sets, and then sometimes I make my own stuff, or I customize some of the stuff that I download.
The pound in the door. Now I'm face down, getting fucked by the law. Oh shit, better dip and be quick to move. In the back room, we got 6 zips of shrooms. So I lick my lips and I sit to eat. Didn't get locked up, but I tripped for weeks. It come easy.
One thing that I thought was interesting in one of the Vincent's Tales, there's a shot very similar to Ren right here, where his head's on the ground. I thought that was funny. You could see Ren's room from Webby's room. I added the little arcade. If you follow Webby, you'd know that he has what looks to be a pretty cool arcade in his basement or something. Just tried to make the rooms kind of cool, but cater to their different personalities. Moving on.
Easy, the champion come easy. The tonto gon' come easy. Damage is done. I'm the one, the smoking gun. It come easy. Stuck in my ways, come easy. Contaminate the scenery. Damage is done. I'm the one, the smoking gun. Met a chick named Jane with a
For the second course, the same style going back to the first, where Jeremy took over, just made this like really nice 2D mixing elements. So we got Webby flying, a little pig, just endless pigs. And for this part, we decided we're gonna continue the story through the course visually. You have Webby, he's obviously on a trip, and then Ren, who is locked up. And then we have Jane, thick ass frame. We have that nice walk in to the bar.
The smoking gun. Met a chick named Jane with a thick ass frame. She's a nice cold bitch, but I love her the same. I come easy when she scream my name. Oh, Ren. Wait, bitch, what the fuck you saying? Ah, shucks, my bad. I was hitting it too. Fuck y'all, I'm out. I guess I'm sticking with you.
So the bar patrons are just filled with characters I made from other videos. This is my favorite cameo. Doug from Faded with a Stranger, who dies in Faded with a Stranger.
Still fucking dead.
I guess in this reality, this happens before Doug and Webby ever meet. Oh, there's Walter White. He's also in the Faded with a Stranger music video. I wanted this to kind of play out like a little I Spy. There's Bandit in the background. It was just kind of fun to fill it up with a bunch of zany characters, even if you barely see them. And then from the bar, we transitioned over into Webby's room. I thought this transition was a funny little innuendo. We got the deer head that's supposed to be like Webby's moose head, and then you got the spider image, which is a nice contrast to Ren's slaughter pig. And then I added a little wiener dog. I had to get a Sopranos reference in there. And then we have Ren that just pops up out of nowhere. I really wasn't sure how I was gonna put Ren into this scene, because if you're listening to the lyrics, he just is there. So I had to just make him like magically appear whoop, out of nowhere. Now moving on.
Bitch, cause 9 months later she had Webby's kid that came easy. Fresh out the womb, oh Jesus. What should I do? I called up the dude and he said, fuck you, and oh, by the way, you got syphilis too. Now I'm seething. That's what you get. So I breathe in, reach for the neck and squeeze him. But that shit don't hurt, cause I'm still feeling all them shrooms from last verse.
And yeah, this scene, the doctors are just some old characters that I just threw a mask on. They were already made. It could take between 4 to 6 hours to make a character from nothing to a fully rigged character, so you gotta cut corners when you can. And using characters that you already have that aren't exactly recognizable, that's usually a good little trick. This split screen, we're going back to Ren popping out of nowhere. Like he's at the hospital here, and then now he's just angry and he's behind Webby. And I was trying to do like Michael Myers coming up behind the victim. And then we have the head pop off and turn into a balloon because he's still tripping. This is my favorite transition of the whole thing, is going from this animation to puppets. It doesn't feel too jarring going from 3D to Puppet World now.
Still feeling all them shrooms from last verse. Ah shit, wait Chris, are you feeling okay? Well, the wall's kinda melting, but I'm otherwise straight. Are you sure? Cause judging by the state you make, you're a mess. You're the one who's got a rash on his tank, you see. Mine cleared up in a couple of days. But I don't got healthcare. Well, that's a damn shame. Just try not to scratch it. I've got to run. And oh, by the way, say hi to my son. Come easy, the champion, come easy.
So that whole scene, we built this pretty intricate set. We built this in our friend Kyle's basement, who also did all the cinematography for the puppets. And my mother-in-law, Mary Ryan, she made the puppets for this. She's an amazing artist, so I asked her, and she's never made a puppet before, but she said she would try. I think she did such a great job. There's a lot that goes into making a puppet actually functional, and considering she was just kind of figuring it out herself, I was very happy with the way they came out. I think they look hilarious. It was Jeremy that was actually doing the puppeteering, which, a word of advice, shooting puppets is not as easy as it sounds. When you have someone with their arm like this through a tiny hole and they're just in agony. So it became an actual extremely stressful shoot rather than this laid back controlled environment that we were shooting in. It was a blast to try and figure this out.
See, you still can't get them. The table's too tall.
Who is that over there?
Blocking
Who
the
is
light.
he?
Sit five. Hi, Rem. Are you a sit five?
Okay,
My day.
That was some good coverage. So now,
Can you get behind Ren?
Easy, the champion come easy. The thunder gun come easy. Damage is done. I'm the one, the smoking gun. It come easy. Stuck in my ways, come easy. Contaminate the scene. Damage is done. I'm the one, the smoking gun.
Now it's 12 years later and the story's not done.
okay, so for the third course here, we originally tried to film them in a RC car for kids, but it didn't come across on camera as well as I had hoped.
It's stopping.
It just kind of looked like two Muppets going super slow, and it didn't have the realness of them actually driving a car. So we had to scrap a lot of that. So I made the car resemble that car, and we got another spider pig. Again, Ren just appears, and I had to just get them in the course so they're together again. This course originally wasn't going to have the puppets, but we just felt like the puppets were in there too briefly. We brought them out to the bar and had no intention of actually shooting them, but we know the bartender, and he was kind enough to let us get these hilarious shots. So shout out to Yield Orchard in Chattagee.
I'm the one, the smoking gun.
Now it's 12 years later and the story's not done. Yeah, I know I sound like Chris, but I'm not. I'm the son. See, I never met my father, but they say I got his voice. And luckily for me, my mother wasn't pro-choice, so the dumb bitch had me. But my fucking stepdaddy's some British cocksucker, always mean and unhappy. And
So this is one of my favorite transitions, and it's the one shot we got to use the RC car because it actually didn't look too bad with them driving past, and we got Spider Pig still chasing them from the first shot, right? So it's just this continuation of that story. Then we cut to 3D animation, and it transitions pretty well. I had to find cutaways so we're not just holding on the same visuals the whole time. So like any chance in the story that I was able to cut away, you need to find creative ways to get yourself out of these. So he describes his mom and his dad, so I figured it's a nice way to get us out of there visually and then get back to it.
he's some British cocksucker, always mean and unhappy. And I just wanna kill this motherfucker so bad. Oh shit, he just got home. Hi, Dad.
I'm not your father, bitch. Try and get it through your head. Your dad overdosed on mushrooms 12 years ago. He's dead, otherwise I wouldn't be stuck here having to raise you, you little shameful, ungrateful brat. I hate you.
Sure, Dad. I mean, Mr. Wren, you got it. I'ma shoot this motherfucker with the gun up in my closet.
What you say?
I said, gum is stuck in my pocket. I don't know how I forgot it, but I should go and wash it.
Fuck's sake, you really are autistic as your father was. I guess that's a result of a pregnancy with a lot of drugs. You should have been in the...
So that scene, there was not much to get me out of there. So I had to keep the camera moving creatively and keep them busy. Like him rolling in on this thing and jumping up, throwing the garbage, keeping the camera constantly exciting. This Webby urn here I thought was funny too, because if you notice there's a dartboard there and there's a dart in the urn. In Webby's Perfect Storm video, he also did something with the darts, so I thought that was a funny little coincidence. For these apartment scenes, I just littered the place with toys. I thought that might be enough to make Ren go a little mad. And yeah, so I was able to cut away at Ren and Jane tripping out together. And then we just get right back into it.
With a lot of drugs. You should have been an abortion. Should have pulled the plug.
You know what, Mr. Wren? Why don't you hold that thought? Got the pistol from my closet, brought it downstairs quick, and then I held it out in front of me and aimed it at his dick.
Wait a second, little man. Hold on. Let's talk through this. Don't be foolish. Do you even know how to use it?
Yeah, I do actually. I looked it up on YouTube. You fucking dickhead.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for that final scene. Just some fun camera movements to keep it exciting between the two characters, going back and forth in and out of them. And then at the end, I wanted it to end like a Looney Tunes video where it said, "That's all, folks." But I thought there could be a copyright issue with that, so I just went with, "That's a wrap." And then I took out the W. Get it? So yeah, that was a little breakdown of the whole process of what goes into the animation, and I was lucky enough to have a really awesome crew that I could hire on this one and bring different elements into it. It really was a dream project, and it's not every day you get to work with two of your all-time favorite artists, so I'm so grateful to Ren and Webby for trusting my vision on this one and just letting me run loose with this crazy idea. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it somewhat informative, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.